You attract what you are.
You attract what you are.
Not what you want. Like, what does that mean? But it was like when I finally understood on a deeper level what I was being, which was like angry, bitter, uncommitted, frustrated, like all these things, I would find myself attracting other people who were in like boats. And then at the root of that, it was this like, I'm not enough, right? So in my head, I was like, I am not enough, therefore I will never accomplish what I want to accomplish because I don't deserve it. So I'm attracting. That was like that deep rooted like fucking shadow work that you have to uproot and be like, oh, this is what is driving my life, this belief. Because it was attracting like-minded people that were like, we would get into like a working relationship, we work on stuff, and then we sabotage it somehow. And it's like, dude, what the fuck is going on? So anyway, I could fucking talk about this forever, but I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Mr. Wong?
Mr. Wong.
I don't think I introduced myself.
Yes, so this is Derek Wong, and he is, he's
just a life practitioner.
He's a dude.
I'm just a practitioner in this ecosystem, just like all of us here.
He's just a businessman, doing his thing, a good-hearted person. We share different beliefs in different areas, but a lot of commonalities, and he's been a really good friend, and I respect him a lot, and he has a lot to say and a lot of great insight. Yeah, he's just a good dude all around, but I would love your perspective on we attract what we are and not what we want.
Yeah, attracting so you attract what you are. It's very true. It's very subconscious based. I mean, I remember being at 26, I made a decision because I understood how important and powerful our subconscious mind is. And I was hanging around a crowd of people that I felt like was always holding me back, that was constantly joking a lot.
Right.
You know, it could be, what do you call it, dry humor, it could be
sarcasm.
Those actually has a lot of impact on our subconsciousness. What we hear constantly is what our brain actually believes. And I always say one thing, the brain actually doesn't know whose voice it is. It just believes everything it hears.
It just takes everything.
It takes in everything in. It's just how the delta brain works. And once it takes in those information, the data, I call it, which is what your friends say, you actually it anchors your subconsciousness to your community of people. And once you are rooted into that community of people, that is your belief system. That is how you take action. That is how you speak. It's how you react or respond. And it's really important. That's when I realized, okay, I need to get rid of all my friends. And I'm not gonna get into that, but I actually
like switch up your environment.
I purged all my friends at that point, and I just became this lonely person for about 2 years, I remember.
Let's talk about that real quick. I know that's a little derailed, but I feel like a lot of people are going through that. And why? How did you manage that loneliness? Was it lonely at first? And when it did become lonely, how did you manage?
I became I made the hard decision to walk away from everyone, and I cordially told everybody, hey, look, I know you guys have been trying to get a hold of me, but I don't think I'm going to come around anytime soon. I just wish that if we saw each other in the streets, let's just become cordial, right? Let's not fight. There's no bad blood. Nothing personal. It's just that this is not the direction of where I want my life to go. Once I left that crowd and I was alone, I was reading books. I was listening to nothing but interviews, whether it was financial, self-help, spiritual, getting physically fit, just brainwashing yourself now with the things that you've wanted or you need. And that 2 years, yes, it felt lonely. My brain also was sending me mixed signals.
Like what?
Emotions such as, what are you doing? Go back. And when I understood was the hardwiring back in the tribal days we needed to fit into a community.
Like a tribe.
Like a tribe to hunt. Because otherwise you get hunted by saber-tooth and tigers and jaguars in the middle of the jungle if you're by yourself. So the hardwiring was sending a signal saying you need to survive because you need to be in a tribe so that you can stay alive. But in today modern society, it's not true, right?
Right.
It's the concrete jungle, no longer the leaf jungle, you know?
Right, yeah.
So that's what I felt, and I knew I was very conscious, like, oh, wow, I felt this sort of depression or suppression. I don't want to say depression, or suppression and sadness. I didn't have friends, but I knew what I was doing by just overriding my brain with the things that I needed to hear. That became my new subconsciousness, which now exudes to the universe, meaning outwards.
Right, right.
And it started attracting the people that I was wanting to be around.
Yeah.
Funny story, now that I just said that, I remember I met you at Collins.
Yeah, we met.
I met at, it was a clothing company called Road Collective. And I think Colin called you to come check on our work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And, you know, Darren came in and he kind of looked around. We haven't even shook hands or met yet or said nice to meet you yet. And after I shook your hands, I remember within 5 or 10 minutes of conversation, I was like, that's my guy.
Right.
That's going to be a friend. Not that I'm saying I'm going to go after him, but I felt that, okay, we are on the same wavelength now.
Right, yeah.
So, funny that
the same.
Full circle now.
Yeah. Would you say that your goal is what helped you through the loneliness? So when you ended up cutting those people off and you started to feel lonely, you stayed focused on your goal.
Yeah, you definitely need a vision ahead of you. You need to have a clear vision ahead of you, knowing what direction you're going to go, what you want to become, who you see yourself being like, you know, how you carry yourself, you know.
Right.
That will keep you on track. Yeah, I knew I needed to be a business owner. I knew I needed to be a CEO. I knew I needed to be a leader to the people in my company. So that's when I knew I needed to start to read books that would better me in that direction, and audiobooks and, you know, interviews from other CEOs.
Yeah.
Those are so important. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I think for me too, because it was like, in order to attract, you know, staying on topic without going to, I mean, this is all in alignment with the topic. In order for me to become what I wanted to attract, I needed to get out of my environment. So, you know, it's like you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. And what I was being was this small, insecure person, human being who needed validation from everyone around me. And I knew I was capable, but I was just looking for permission, right? And so what I would do, because of my insecurity, I would place myself in an environment that was reinforcing my insecurity. So basically, I don't believe I'm enough. I need your permission, but I'm in an environment where you can't give me permission, because the permission I need doesn't come from anywhere, doesn't come from my environment. It comes from me.
Yeah, inside.
And it wasn't until I got out of my environment, went to be alone. I thought I was crazy at first, because I remember not hanging out with my friends, and I was like, dude, they're going to be so mad at me. But I just have to be alone. I have to be alone. I don't know why. Maybe I'm depressed. Maybe I don't know. But like, I just know I have to be alone. And people would ask me to hang out, and I'd blow them off, and I wouldn't blow them off. I'd just say, no, sorry. Like,
but you generally wanted to just be like, I need to have my time. That's
right.
what you would, okay, all right.
And so my friends, fucking years would go by, and they're like, dude, like, I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I don't even know how to explain it. And then there were times that we did hang out, maybe we grabbed lunch or something, and it just felt so disaligned and so off, because I was still sorting things out. And I was trying to figure out how to give myself permission, essentially. And what it turned out to be, after like fucking over 2 years, I finally got to a place of, they can't even give me permission if they wanted to. because it has to come from within you.
Is it more permission or more approval, you think?
Both.
Both,
I think.
okay.
Yeah, I think it was both. Because here's what I would do. I'd be like, yeah, man. They'd be like, yo, D, what you been working on? I'm like, oh, man, I started working on this project. I kind of had this idea, like I wanted to do this. And I'm sharing in hopes that they would be like, oh, I could totally see you doing that.
Oh.
So when I didn't get that, that reinforcement, dude, my shirt is driving me nuts with these wrinkles. Thanks, thanks, Gildan.
Gildan.
When they didn't reinforce that, that thing that I needed to give myself, I felt so discouraged. I would leave having lunch with them and just be like, man, like, I don't know, like, I just wish somebody would tell me I could do it. And then it just got to the point where I'm like, yo, I'm 35 years old. Ain't no motherfucker gonna come around and tell me, hey, Darren.
Great job.
You can do it, buddy.
Yeah.
And even if they did, it wouldn't be enough. It had to come from within me. So when I separated myself, I love that you knew what you were doing. And for me, I just kind of like, I didn't really know what the fuck I was doing. I thought I was being depressed and like I didn't want to hang out with anybody. And like, I wish I had more mindfulness like you at the time, because I probably would have explained to myself, hey guys, like it's nothing personal. I just need, I need to switch it up a bit.
Yeah.
But, because I think some of them did take it pretty personal. And, but it was necessary, right? In order for me to realize, oh, the only permission I need is Darren's permission. And it would come and go and come and go and come and go until eventually, like, I gave myself permission so many times that it now became my normal, where I used to say, like, I don't care what people think, blah, blah, blah. But deep down inside, I really kind of did. Now it's like, okay. Like, I've given myself enough permission now that my permission is all that I need.
Yeah.
And so now when I reconnect with these people, like, I'm not even the same person, right? And I needed that in order to become what I truly wanted in life. And because otherwise, you're not going to get it. And what I truly wanted was confidence. I wanted peace. I wanted happiness, right? I wanted joy. I wanted understanding. But I was in a place of chaos, right? For so long, trying to be like, help me. Somebody like fucking do this for me.
Yeah.
And it was
It's all very subtle too. We don't.
So subtle.
That's why the self-awareness is so important there. I actually have an exercise that I can share that I did.
Oh, yeah.
And exercises is something that we should all practice to do for ourselves.
Right.
So something I always taught myself was little exercises, getting out of my comfort zone. I started wearing different socks every day. Both pairs never matched. So I did it for over 15 years now, because that was my way of getting out of it. Little exercises. So this one exercise that taught me how to trust myself, believe in myself.
Women's underwear, right?
Man, how'd you know?
Yeah, he started wearing
the same wavelength. See that?
I caught him. He was picking something up. I was like, is that Victoria's Secret? Because I had the same one. So
it's lavender. So the exercise I did for myself was, hey, I noticed that I always had to go ask people how to do something. Hey, how would you do this? How should I do that? I'm having this problem. I'm having that problem. So one thing I told myself was, okay, I noticed that I keep doing that. I keep asking people, but I feel like I also know what I need to do. So what I did was I said, all right, let's do a little exercise, Derek. And I said to myself, starting next Monday, I'm gonna do. I only could use the internet to research. I can't ask my parents. I can't ask my friends. I can't cry to any of my friends. I can't, what do you call that? Express myself.
Right.
Just 1 week, I'm just gonna, everything that I have questions about, I'm gonna research online. I'm gonna trust my own instinct and just listen to myself only. Can't ask anybody. No doctors, no lawyers, no anybody. Just me. And I have to say, 3 days into that exercise, I started having these confirmations and understanding. I was just like, wow, I knew what I needed to do all along. I just didn't know how to trust myself. I didn't know how to believe in myself. I didn't know how to listen to myself. I had to keep going and ask people. And that was that day. I think this was like 24 years old. I don't remember. No, 24. I think so. Around there. I forget.
How old are you now?
36.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm 26 sometimes. So that 3-day exercise, that 1 week exercise, but in 3 days into it, I felt, wow, I am never going to listen to anybody else, 95% of the time at least. I'm still a very open-minded person. I still take people's opinion. But now it's like you got this deep understanding of yourself. And that's the exercise I would implore anyone to try. Yeah. 3 days, 2 days, 1 week. It's not going to kill you.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, go back to your old self. Hey, so
Dude,
I
that's so important, the whole trusting yourself thing. I think growing up, I had a really hard time doing that. And I've shared this story before, but I worked construction with my dad, and like he would kind of come around and like I would do something, and then he would come behind me and like fix it or like do it better versus like just, hey, do it like this, and then leaving it up to me. So in my head, what it would do is tell me like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I need somebody to come and fix it. Like I'm not good enough, right?
Parenting. I love this subject.
Yeah, right. So, so long story short, like I always felt like I wasn't capable. Like I needed somebody to like go to the DMV for me because like I didn't know how to file for a new car registration. Like I always kind of.
How old were you at this time?
Fuck, this was like 28. So I'm 35 now, but like, yeah. And even things in my 30s, like shit that I would do, like getting health insurance or dental insurance or like going and setting my dental appointments or shit like that. And I'm like, why do I feel nervous about this? Like, why does this feel... And I'm like, why? And it's because trusting yourself is such an important fucking thing. And trusting the fact that even if you're making the wrong decision, that you can pivot and you can correct it. And that's how you fucking learn.
Yeah, gotta pivot.
But
everything.
Right, unless you learn to actually just trust yourself, whether you make a mistake or not, just trusting yourself is the point, is the key. Yeah. It's not about trusting that you're going to make the absolute right decision every single time. That's not going to happen. And yes, you can ask advice and stuff like that, but ultimately the choice is yours. All of this to say, like, these are all elements of attracting what you are versus what you want. Yeah. So you have to trust yourself. Yeah. You have to change your environment. Yeah. Right? You have to practice self-awareness and practice discipline. Practice all the things that you want from life. Practice being it. Yeah. And I fucking guarantee you your life will change almost instantaneously. Yeah. So. And
it also, if you're probably wondering, well, how long does this take? If you practice this at least for 6 months, you should see some results.
Dude, some people say they see this shit the next day.
Could be, yeah.
But you'll see sustainable results in about that time. Yeah. For sure.
So don't be discouraged. You're going to feel like 2 months into it, you're going to be like, well, this ain't working. And then you just want to naturally quit. But you gotta hold on and trust yourself again and not let yourself go. Don't let that fear of success or that emotion of giving up come through. Right. Because that's part of your subconsciousness. The giving up emotion, it comes from somewhere in the past. Someone has taught you, hey, you're not good enough, or it's not worth it, or it's too much time, or it's too much effort. Don't just be aware that is going to happen, and you're going to feel like giving up and dropping the ball and saying, all right, I'm going to stop. Of the process. It's part of the process.
You have to feel that.
Just keep going all the way through, meaning for at least 6 months, and you'll see some results. I guarantee you that.
And even your first year, you're going to still feel the tug to go back to your old behaviors, beliefs, ways, all that shit. I mean, we're talking about the human brain here rewiring itself. Trillions of pathways that are just ingrained in this like goop in our skull, right? So the only thing that's going to change those pathways that have essentially led us to act a particular way is acting a different way over and over and over and over and over again. I mean, we're talking 15, 20, 30, 40 years of behavior and pathways that have been formed, and you're trying to change it. It's going to take effort in this direction. You know what I mean? It's like, imagine you unravel something for 30 years in one direction, and then you realize, oh fuck, that's the wrong way. You have to that's not the best analogy, but you have to kind of unravel it and then reroute that, and it's going to take effort, and then it's going to look like it's never ending, and you're like, am I even doing anything? Wait, how much progress? And you're going to lose sight of your good progress, and you're going to look at all your old progress, you're going to look at all your old behaviors and be like, well, at least I know what I'm getting with that. And your brain is going to want to go there over and over and over again. But just here's the key, is awareness. When that happens, you say, oh shit, I feel like giving up. That's not what we do anymore. Mm-hmm. And you just keep going, because you're going to spend the same amount of energy trying to sustain yourself under the weight of giving up as you will pushing yourself to a better future. I was thinking about that, like associating a good thing with the change, because change is traumatic, right? Change is usually traumatic. So your brain takes it as like, oh, what the fuck? What are we switching up here? Like this way has kept us alive for so long. We can't act this way. That we don't know what the fuck is that way. So pump the brakes. I'm here to keep you comfortable, not courageous, you know? So rewarding yourself when you are being courageous, saying, hey, look, I get what you're trying to do here and trying to keep me safe, but I'm the one who's in control. I'm the captain of my ship. And I say, I don't want to be there anymore. That's where I want to be. And, you know, you go there and you map out your steps, right? So essentially, and now we're talking about becoming what you want to attract in your life. I was walking on this, I took Millie out for a walk yesterday, and we went to the top of this hill, and there was, Millie's my dog, for those of you who don't know. We were up on top of this hill, and there was this like stone wall, and it was paved at the top, but it was really like uneven and just like imbalanced. And she jumped up there with me, and on one side, there's this huge like cliff, probably like 500 feet down. And then on the other side, there's just like mulch and like a sidewalk. And I'm walking on this path, and I'm looking down, and I look up, and I see, it's not a path, it's the top of this little wall. It's like 3 feet tall. And I look out at the end of the wall. I was like, wow, this goes out pretty far. And immediately I got nervous, because what happened, I noticed, was that I was losing sight of the steps I was taking, and I was focusing on the end, right? When, okay, I knew where I wanted to go, but that's not what I should be focusing on. It's like, that's where I want to go, great. Now focus on each step that you're taking.
Right here.
Because it was so imbalanced that if I didn't look down, I would get really nervous, and it made me want to get off the wall, because I was focusing over there versus right here.
Big picture.
And every time I looked down at my feet, I felt peace. I felt good. I felt confident, because I was handling each step at a time, and I could see any little crevice or any little loose rock or anything like that. And it didn't worry me, because I was focused on the task at hand. I was like in the moment. You know, and I think when we're trying to become something new, we're like, oh, that's the new thing I want to become. And that's all we look at. We don't ever look at the steps we're taking to get there. And then that's why we want to get off, because it looks too grand to even achieve.
Too hard, too far.
And it's too risky, because it's like, ooh, I feel nervous when I look out there and I start walking on this path, because if I fail, there's a chance that I fall down a 500-foot cliff. Or maybe I don't get hurt. But I don't want to take that risk, because I don't like But it's like, no, no, no. Focus on where you want to go. Jump up on that wall and just focus on each of your steps.
Yeah.
Don't focus to the left or to the right. You focus on the here and the now. And I guarantee you, in 6 months' time or a year, 2 years' time, you're going to look back and be like, and then it actually becomes exciting to change and to like be uncomfortable.
Big time.
Because now you're seeing like, oh yeah, it's a little uncomfortable, but I've seen the rewards of it.
Yeah.
And now I think I'm kind of enjoying being uncomfortable.
Yes. Yeah. You start to long and seek and crave change, and because your brain now, the new dopamine now is
It's associating good things with change.
Yes.
Versus the old things of change is like, that's unknown, unfamiliar. I don't know what's there. But if you just go and you open that door, you walk through and you realize, oh, there's candy here. You know what I mean? Or there's good things here.
There's good things on the other side of the door, the other side of the fence, the other side of the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And it's almost like being, and it's almost like, and I'll top it off with this analogy because I don't want to keep the video too long, but it's almost like when you're trying new things, you open this new door and it's this pitch black room. You don't know what to expect. However, many people have been in there and they're telling you, this is a good room to go. Like your mentors or whoever. I've been there. Just go in there. You're going to have to figure it out on your own, but just do it. Trust me. Door number 2 or whatever it is that you're trying to be is a good door. Go in there. The lights are going to be off at first, but just keep searching. You're going to figure it out. And you go in, the door fucking slams behind you, but remains unlocked. And unfortunately, a lot of people do go back, But if you stay in there and you feel around, you might scrape your elbow on something or bump your toe because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're trying to figure this out. And then you feel something, oh, what is this? And you pick it up and it's like $20. And you're like, oh shit. And whatever you get in that room, you get to keep, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're like, oh shit. And then there's a fucking like amazing cheesecake all of a sudden. Or there's like a sweet scent. Or it's like, oh wow, this is actually, boom, you fucking bust your knee. Or you stub your toe, or you hit your elbow, or you hit your head on something. All right, cool, well don't go there anymore, now I know. And you're figuring all this shit out. Pivoting, you're learning. You're learning the room, you're learning that not everything's so bad. There are some good things here. And then eventually, you reach and you touch the wall, or maybe something hits you in the head and you pull it, and the fucking lights come on. And there's a moment in this discovery process that you like, oh, fucking breakthrough. Mm-hmm. Because now that the lights are on, and now that you're walking in this new confidence, this new identity, you're like, oh, fuck, damn, that's what I hit my head on? How did I miss that? Mm-hmm. But I did, because I was learning. I have grace on myself, and, the room was dark. Come on, give me a break. I was learning. But now, you can shift things around. Now, you're like, oh, that's where the cheesecake was. I didn't even know that there was a fucking, a bakery over here. I didn't even know that there was, like, this over there. Like, and now you're able to see all the goodness. In the door that you were tempted, that stayed unlocked for you, that you were tempted to go back to, you look back and you're like, yeah, I can't believe I was even in that room to begin with. Yeah. Why didn't I come here sooner? Mm-hmm. And I get it. It's terrifying. It's a pitch black room. But people who've been there, they're not just talking out of their ass. They're telling you something here.
Oh, yeah. It tastes good.
Right. And it's only up to you to make the decision to do that. And I'm telling you, and he's telling you firsthand experience, it is well worth the journey, if you will. Because once the lights turn on, the possibilities are fucking endless. Yeah. And you'll be glad that you found it. And sometimes it takes people longer than others to find where the light switch is. But eventually you will.
You will find it, yes.
So, absolutely. Thank you guys so much again, and thank you, Derek, for being a part of this. That's what we do
here. We change lives. Yeah. We change our own lives, and we change the lives around us.
Yeah. Let us know what you think, and if you do have any questions, I want to make videos based off of your questions. Yeah. Even though I have a whole list of topics that I can talk about, I'm just kind of shooting in the dark. But I want to know what you guys have to say and what you guys are thinking, and just keep this dialogue going. Other than that, I love you, love yourself, And until next time,
Yep, next time.
peace.